Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on Transformers Timelines, issue number 6. Now, as you know, Transformers Timelines are stories that are centered around the themes of BotCon, like Dawn of Futures Past, Shattered Glass, and so many other things. The story that I am reviewing is the Stunticon job, that is meant to take place after the Season 3 final, and acts like its own story of Season 4. And the cover has Sideswipe with the versions of the Stunticons. And the story starts off how basically Optimus and his team have returned and hailed as heroes. Others are impressed, while Sentinel isn't, and he feels like this has made him look bad. So in response, Sentinel pretty much had a giant show and presentation showing that he put the Decepticons like Megatron, Lugnut, and Shockwave in their former stronghold as a prison now. And we're introduced to Sideswipe, who mainly says, "But for me, it was just another day at the office. Name Sideswipe, Senior Investigator, Cybertron Defense Command. In other words, I'm a copper bot." And he points out about doing one last case before he goes to the Energon farm. And we've shown how he has his new partner, who is Cheetle, who basically arrests Rattletrap, and basically finds out that he stole Optimus's axe, but pretty much tries to con his way out by saying it's a replica and that. So they go to see Optimus, who points out his real axe is there. So they basically find out from the Stunticon show that it's actually theirs, but by mistake, Cheetle thinks they're Decepticons, with Wild Rider saying, "Who is the malfunction that dares to interrupt my rehearsal?" And we've got the versions of the Stunticons, with Motormaster saying, "You remember the Motormaster? Can read his name on the top of the show, can you, Wild Rider?" And basically, it turns out this is part of a big presentation show, and we've seen how they basically do a giant show, basically make it look like they're the good guys, and we're introduced to Toxicon, who is basically meant to be something similar to Bizarro, and basically their performance is corny, but it's more like that sort of joke for on presentation shows, with Sentinel making sure his face shows up near the Megatron's prison, and even after the show ended, we show them they show the axe, and Cheetle basically asking, "We are the question, Dirtbot. Word on the street is you're hiding a stash of hot mods in your body show." But turns out they're part of something for a show. So after doing some investigation, they find out that there's no records on them. And we find out from an Auto Trooper that Iron Fist, who's a workshop owner, ended up getting attacked, and turns out it's actually Toxicon, who tries to blast them, and basically Sideswipe has a go at Cheetle for nearly putting them in danger. And basically this is Sideswipe trying to help him not make the same mistakes he made. And we see how they try to, get him to do a bargain, but due to him being a malfunction, it doesn't work out. So they let him go. And we basically see how they start to figure out that it's actually a prison break, and that Motormaster and the Stunticons have planned to bust Megatron out. And we're shown at the giant show with Optimus's team, the characters we've seen throughout the show. And we see how Sideswipe and Cheetle bust in with guns blazing, and Jagswick and the others try to take them out, but Sentinel and that think it's part of the show. And turns out Toxicon is actually Optimus, much to Sentinel's dismay. And turns out that it was all part of a big plan, even exposing the Stunticons as true Decepticons. And Motormaster putting Sideswipe in hostage, saying, "Nobody move! The Motormaster will scrap this defense bot." But manages to get the device out of his hand, and Cheetle berating him for nearly putting everyone in danger. But Sideswipe saying that nobody's going to interfere with his vacation. And we're seeing at the end that the Stunticons were put in prison. Sideswipe got his dream place at the Energon farm, and then see something in the sky saying, "Wait, that's not a meteor shower." And turns out it's Striker with some new members, like Mindwipe, and also Skybite and Doctor. So the Stunticon job story is a bit of a hit and miss, but I think it's a good idea for a good story. Again, for the voice actors, I could definitely see Jim Cummins. I could also see Kelly Terry Crews, the actor who played Sinestro in Green Lantern, in basically Justice League and that. And I could also see the actor who played Raymond's brother for Wild Rider. So I think it's a standard story, and it does deserve a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.